So here we go, just 2 races left in the MotoGP World Championship of 2025, and today could be the day that the championship is decided. After a dramatic turn with Gonzalez falling last time out, it now goes with Diego Moreira, who now has the championship lead. Welcome to what could be the decider here in the Algarve. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a bit of a different schedule. Moto2 up first, then MotoGP, then Moto3. The grid is being cleared. We are getting set to get going here for this one. Are we about to witness a title decider, or is this MotoGP contest going all the way to Valencia in 7 days' time? Let's head down to the grid and find out.
Yeah, it's interesting times, the psychology and the out-and-out speed, really. And it's a circuit that we know that Manuel Gonzalez, who's going from 7th, don't forget, on the 3rd row of the grid, he is great around here. And arguably, you could say he's better than Diego Moreira. But Diego Moreira is leading the way. 9 points. What are we going to get in this one? What a prospect for Moto2. Let's head over to our commentary team. Michael Laverty is alongside Gavin Emmett. Good morning.
Good morning. We are tense in here because the Moto2 title is on the line in Portugal. Diego Moreira with his first shot at the championship. He starts from pole ahead of Jake Dixon with title rival Manuel Gonzalez on an uphill fight from 7th on the grid. 21 laps ahead. The pressure couldn't be higher.
Moto2 heads into the Algarve International Circuit for the penultimate round of the 2025 campaign. What are we about to witness? Diego Moreira on pole position from Jake Dixon and Colin Vire. Then it's Barry Boltus, Aaron Canet, alongside then Daniel Holgado, Manuel Gonzalez, Justino Vietti and David Alonso. Drop further down and we'll see Daniel Munoz alongside Alex Escray, Zonta van der Gerberg, Senna Igers, Tony Alberino. Alonso Lopez lines up in 15th. 16th for Albert Arenas, some Philip Salak, Aizan Guevara, Adrian Freitas, Jorge Navarro, Ivan Ortola, then takes it down as well with Mario Archie, Amul Sasaki, Sergio Garcia, Marcos Ramirez, Eric Fernandez, Zabi Zurazuta, Yuki Kuni, and Alessandro Morossi is at the back of the field. Diego Moreira lines up on pole position. He leads by 9 points to Manuel Gonzalez. If the gap is more than 25 points at the end of today, the champion is crowned. Good morning to Michael Laverty and Gavin Emmett.
Conservatism. I think he has to. He's got to step out of his comfort zone. He struggled a little bit at times this year to make those overtakes. It isn't his forte with his setup. He likes to have the bike steering better, perhaps compromise a little bit of braking support, and that doesn't allow him to maybe make those decisive overtakes, but he's got to go for it today. He's got to get on this man's rear wheel as early as possible, and he's got to beat him. He's got to take points back. He cannot afford to give any more away to Diogo. But yeah, it's his time to shine. He's got to rise to the occasion.
Conversely, Diogo is much more of a scrapper. He's much more of a on-the-brakes man, lunging, making moves. He starts from pole, and he's leading a championship for the very first time in his life. He has his opportunity to win the title here if he has 26 points over the rest of the field. So, how will Diogo rise to it, do you feel?
I watched Diogo's approach to the race weekend. He's cool. He doesn't show any fluster at any point in the weekend. He's delivered each time it's been asked of him, even when there were spots of rain in the air. Friday afternoon he went out, took a risk on what was a possibly slick racetrack, and he put a lap time in to bank his Q2 spot. I just think he's in control of his own destiny at the moment. The fact that he's only leading a title for the first time in his career as he's about to leave Moto2 and join the MotoGP ranks, it just shows that he is maturing at the right pace and he's in control of his own destiny.
If they do come together, the front two, Barry Baltus and Jake Dixon go through picture, are still in with a title shot. Barry 35 behind Moreira, Dixon 41, Canet 43. Still all of them could have a say in the outcome of this World Championship, but there is the Brazilian, Diogo Moreira. We go back to Brazil next year in Goiânia. Wow, wouldn't they love to be welcoming a MotoGP Brazilian Moto2 World Champion in the field? Can he handle the pressure from pole position today?
That's the question that we're going to be asking ourselves. Can he handle that pressure down to turn number 1? We've got the rider tracker in operation. We have all of the data that you need at home. Yellow flags have been removed. Are you ready? 21 laps ahead of us for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Portugal and the championship on the line. Diego Moreira, more than 25 points at the end of the day. He is champion. Jake Dixon going for yet another victory after winning in Malaysia. Green flag at the back. Eyes to the lights. Red lights activate. Lights out. Moto2 is underway at the Algarve, and it's a good start down towards the first corner. Are we going to get a good getaway from the rest of the field? Yes. No one having problems. Diego Moreira leads into turn 1. Coming up the inside, Colin Vire moving up into second. Justina Vietti to third. Jake Dixon's dropped back into 4th position and is under attack from Daniel Holgado. But a little bit of a moment from Justina Vietti allows Dixon to get back on the inside through Lagos. Up the hill now we go into Lago, and now down the hill towards Torrey Vip at the hairpin of turn 5. There is Manuel Gonzalez already up into 7th position as we enter the hairpin for the first time. Everyone looking through that, they're getting through cleanly. Brilliant moves from Azan Guevara, moving up a couple of places. Mario Archie getting ahead as well of Zaki Zurazita as well as they come down through Samson. Moreira leading, Vietti second, Dixon now back into third, over the crest and far away, drop down towards the Craig Jones corner. Alex, that's great. A little bit wide. I thought Albert Arenas might find a way through. Alonso passes Holgado. Gonzalez still in 7th position. Oh, hello. Who's that going way out wide, losing several places? Couldn't see on the rider tracker. It is Philip Salak in the other Boscura bike alongside. So he's dropped back a little bit as well. So Salak on the other MVS running wide at the top of turn 11. Down we come into turn 13 at the Gap corner. Everyone looks like they're getting through safely this time. A little bit of traction further back as we now take a look through as Barry Boltes gets ahead as Izan Guevara. Gonzalez up now into 6th position as they drop 6 stories and over the line once more for the 2nd lap of this. And now the slipstream battle begins as well. This is the big one because slipstreaming at Portimao, so important. Albert Arenas dives on the inside line of Daniel Munoz, and that opens the door once again to Daniel Holgado, who slips through. Barry Boltes now trying on the inside line at turn 3 at Lagos. Hasn't worked out. Munoz having to hold it on and just literally wrangle the bike round the outside line of the curve just to make sure it didn't turn off on him. Everyone getting through safely. Down on the inside, Boltes down the outside line. He's under attack from Izan Guevara. Guevara slips back through on the inside line at Torrey Vip at turn 5. Zaki Zurazeta has dropped down to 27th position. So that tells me there's a bit of a further issue there that we're not seeing on the TV images. As they go over the crest, down to turn 9 at the Craig Jones corner, rising back up into Portimao. And the 95 of Colin Vire hunting down Diego Moreira, championship leader. And as it stands, the gap would be, as I try and navigate to the world standings, 24 points. So as it stands, Diego Moreira is not the Moto2 world champion. 281 to 257. The gap to Dixon is 50 points. By Boltes, the gap 55. So absolutely, the question still remains that he has to be leading by 26 points or more. So Moreira holding that advantage as they come through. Wonderful atmosphere as they come over the line once more. Let's just see if there will be a change of positions as they head down. Moreira holding out 142.026, Vietti 141.731, Dixon 141.394, Vietti 141.317, but David Alonso in 5th 141.293. He has the net lead on the fastest lap runs, as we were kind of expecting him to this early in the race. Good stuff so far, though, as they head back down. Title fight is on. Yellow flag, sector 1. Oh, it's Zaki Zurazeta is down at turn 3. The rider tracker telling us there, Zaki Zurazeta has got back up. He's rejoined. So crashed out rider okay, but the rider tracker is now showing that he's moving again, so we'll see if he's picked the bike up. Should get a green flag. We do. But that bike now has come to a stop at the end of the first sector. So I think Zagizura Zeta is out of the race. I believe, yeah, so we'll wait for confirmation on that. Rider okay then. Oh, Diego Moreira at the top of the hill at Portimao, having to go very defensive against Justina Vietti. Vietti wanted to move on the inside line, and now coming through, David Alonso forcing his way past Justina Vietti, and Vietti battling now with Manuel Gonzalez, who's trying to go around the outside, down into turn 13 and 14. A gap has got to the inside line. Vietti has to check himself up, and Gonzalez is through into 5th position. So the more points Gonzalez gets today, the less damage that happened back at Malaysia 2 weeks ago. And going into the final race of the year, they want it to be as quickly as they possibly can. As now Justina Vietti moves to the inside line, and Diego Moreira down into turn 1 and takes the lead, coming in way out of control. Jake Dixon taking 3rd place away from David Alonso, who slipstreamed down towards turn 1 to momentarily get ahead. Now Dixon's right on the back of Diego Moreira. The gap now 18 points in the championship. Moreira 276, Gonzalez 18 back, Dixon 45 back. But the TV helicopter through into P7. Simon Paxton just tweeting because it's getting very close to this leading back. 7 in the fight at the moment. Vietti, Moreira, Dixon, Alonso, Gonzalez, Vietti and Canet all running in the order. Hang on a minute, David, that's Munoz. David Munoz, what's happened? Because he's dropped down now to 12th position on our timing screen. Fastest first sector for Colin Vire. He's just been let loose at the front, 32.188, as you can see on your driver tracker information screen that we have here at home. Yeah, confirmed, by the way, that Zagizura Zeta is out of the race. So that is now a no-go at the moment, as the battle continues to grow up the hill. This is lap 4 of 21. It's more like a Moto2 race, this one as well. How close everybody, I'll try that again, shall I? It's more like a Moto2 race, how close everybody is running together and towing together. Vietti, 0.390 ahead. Diego Moreira 2nd, Dixon 3rd, as they come over the crest and run down towards turn number 1. Are we going to see another move from Dixon? He's thinking about it, but he's under attack from Manuel Gonzalez on the inside line, and David Alonso's through. Gonzalez backed out of it. Alonso made the move, stick on the inside line, turn 1. Gonzalez thought he had an opportunity, but doesn't. Dixon nearly loses out the front as Alonso closes back. Got to find the right moments to go over the crest and have an attack here. That's always vital, otherwise it could lead to a big... Oh, there we go. Exactly as I was saying. A little bit almost of a high side coming through. And that just disrupts, as we've got a yellow flag out on the track. Hang on a minute. Have we looked? Well, Manuel Gonzalez dropped down to 7th position. Sasaki and Ramirez have crashed out. So Sasaki and Ramirez out. So this Moto2 really is going to go to... This was the moment from the 18 of Manuel Gonzalez on the Intact GP bike coming out at turn 5. The front just loosening up and almost crashing out. That was almost another mistake from Malaysia. So that's dropped Gonzalez down to 7th. He loses out to Justina Vietti and Aaron Canet down at Samson. So that's why the yellow flags were out. Then we were looking at Sasaki and Ramirez who have crashed out. They say riders are okay, which is good news as they come out of the last corner to start lap 6 of 21 and 16 to go. Yep, confirmed. Marcos Ramirez is out of the race. Good morning to Robert. It says, hi everyone and good morning here in Georgia, USA. Is this Moto2? This is Moto2. Moto2, then MotoGP back on the main JB Motorsports channel, then back here for Moto3, and then back over to JB1 for the Formula 1 as Canet dives up the inside line of Justina Vietti at turn 3. A sweet move on the inside line. So the gap now, Diego Moreira 276, Manuel Gonzalez is 20 points back. Reminding the gap needs to be more than 25 points in order for Diego Moreira to be crowned as the Moto2 World Champion. this weekend, not next weekend in Valencia. But Diego Moreira at the moment, if he overtakes Colin Vire, the gap would be 25 points. So then it'll be title chance to come through. The Moto2 race certainly is being entertaining here, as that helicopter coming through turn 9 and Craig Jones very much is playing dicey with everything. So are the drones here actually as well. They are really getting us close to the action on what is the most roller coaster circuit on the MotoGP calendar. It's this place and Mazzano and Mugello, I'd say, are the most fun to ride at. Marcos Ramirez apparently has restarted. He's down in 27th position, a lap down. Ramirez has rejoined the race, so his driver tracker information chip is closing back up. Remember, this is the first weekend we've had the rider tracker in MotoGP. We've been asking for it back for years. They took it away, but now finally we've got it again. So I like it. I love it. Let's see if we can get it back permanently as they come over the line. Oh, there's that drone camera again flying down low into turn 1. Frightening me as well to come into it. But Gonzalez having that huge moment early on. 15 laps to go. Lap 7 of 21 then. Vietti leading by 0.4 of a second. Moreira, Alonso and Dixon. Let's have a replay on the monitor. This was... that's the accident between Sasaki and Ramirez. And just coming in too hot at Torrey Vip on the inside line. And yeah, understandably, Marcos Ramirez for the OnlyFans American Racing Team, furious with that getting taken off. Here's the Mark VDS squad. Jake Dixon running in 4th position. There's that helicopter again at the top of the hill through Craig Jones. Gonzalez 7th, Dixon 4th. And don't forget they're 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Dixon still has an opportunity to close back in. At the moment, the gap is 20 points in the standings as we ride with Diego Moreira, running in 2nd position. Let's check in with TNT.
But as you mentioned, it's his poor starts and languishing down the order after lap 1. Thought about it there into turn 14.
Yeah, well, Vietti also having a look at Canet. Manuel Gonzalez could find himself back in 8th here and an even bigger hill to climb. Round the final corner, look at Canet just pull away from Vietti in that part of the corner.
Canet very strong on the run through 15 over the rise. Gonzalez has got a good run here, he's got the slipstream effect. 2 bikes, no, not close enough to make an overtake this time around.
He needs to start battling in front, doesn't he, in a way. We've just had a new fastest lap of the race. It's coming from Colin Vire, new race lap record. Gonzalez was going to attack there, Vietti, but he didn't. Also a personal best for Diego Moreira on that last lap. They were 0.2 quicker than Alonso. They were half a second quicker than Dixon. Half a second quicker than the likes of Canet. Gonzalez running Alonso's pace on that last lap.
Yeah, it's like Manu just relaxed a little bit last time around, settled back into his rhythm. More smooth, flowing lines, but he has to be careful. He'll get the signal on his pit board that Barry Baltus is there and ready to attack, whilst he needs to set up the overtakes here on Vietti and Canet wherever possible.
There is Gonzalez back in 7th place. I remind you, Diego Moreira, top left of your picture, is running 2nd. It's Colin Vire who is leading this race for the Red Bull KTM IO squad. Could become another rookie to win this year, could he, after the likes of Olgado and Alonso?
And what would that make, 11 different winners this season in Moto2?
Here comes the attack then from Manuel Gonzalez. Already got through once on Celestino Vietti. And he does it this time in the turn 13. Did it there on the previous effort. I just wonder how much tyre Gonzalez is having to use to make some of these moves.
He's going to have to push hard here. And unfortunately, that is the downside. He's going to be working his tyre here in Sector 4. Yellow flag in Sector 4. Where
it is.
That could be turn 13.
Eric Fernandez, I think. Eric Fernandez has stopped an arm monitor to appear in the comms box.
It was one of the leaders in the final sector.
Eric Fernandez, who's gone down, riding for the MT Helmets squad this weekend.
Yeah, there he is. He's okay.
Unfortunately. Ooh, that is Canet on Dixon. Dixon, and that was super aggressive from Aaron Canet.
Yeah, on the direction change.
Wow.
More or less took the bike out of Jake's hands, but yeah, Jake making sure everything's all in check here. Gives Manu now an opportunity to perhaps pounce on Jake on this lap around.
Not worked, is it, for Jake Dixon? So far in this race, just not quite got the pace. We're expecting to 42.2 on that previous lap.
Yeah, bit of a struggle at this point in the race. Jake certainly had pace to run 41s pretty much throughout yesterday's practice session, so he'll have been wanting a little more. And so can it be in the move in turn 3? Jake went for the cutback, and then it was a conversion of lines slightly up the hill.
Yeah, we haven't seen that initial move, so fair move there from Canet. Barry Baltus, is he able to find a way through on Vietti now? Make his way forward. Question mark, can Gonzalez get through on Dixon? All the places here for Canet, Dixon and Baltus are important as well, because they're all looking for top 3 in the championship. Of course, as I say, they are still in with a shout at the title, but you know, top 3 also means something, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for top 3 in the world. You've got a lot of bonuses, whether it be your team bonus, helmet, leather manufacturer sponsors.
Whoa, that's going to be tight there.
Yeah, very tight on the line.
Got really good drive on Dixon. And all this is just when Gonzalez having to try and pass people here. He's going to be using tyre. He's going to try and drive. Is he going to attack Dixon down into turn 3?
He's going for it. Dixon's gone wide. Gonzalez going to slip round the outside. Dixon again going defensive. Vietti battling with Baltus, and Baltus goes through. But Vietti gets the cutback. Dixon's going to be under attack as well. Down in the braking zone. Dixon holds off.
Gonzalez off. Baltus gone through on Vietti. Vietti comes back at him. Baltus then takes a tighter line on exit. Through 6, side by side. Great stuff between Baltus and Vietti. Vietti comes back at 7.
Just watching the move there, Gonzalez. He done it clean on Jake up into turn 7, but Jake lost the rear as he tipped in there. Done well to keep it on track.
And Dixon's pace is just not there at all, is it? As he was expecting in this race. So Gonzalez has got through and stayed through.
Unfortunately for Manu, now he's almost 1.5 seconds adrift of Canet. He's going to have to work hard to get it back across to Aaron, as Aaron's trying to get across to David Alonso.
Gianestino Vietti taking a tight line ahead of Baltus. Then he tries to apply the throttle and just has a little bit of a squirrely slide on exit from 13. At the front, Moreira's closing the gap on Via on this lap. Gap back down to 0.2 of a second. This is the battle for 7th place between Vietti and Baltus.
Lap times at the front, 41.8, 41.7. They dropped a couple of tenths from the previous circulation, but the young Dutchman Colin Vire setting a really impressive pace here, and Moreira going with him. David Alonso not able to quite match them over the last 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, the gap from Alonso to Moreira now stands at 1.1 seconds. So it's actually come down to 0.8 through that first split. There you can see it. So that's the leader, via Moreira, then Alonso, then Canet is 4th. This is Gonzalez in 5th, 18 points adrift as things stand.
Sorry, Manny Gonzalez, he's looking quite loose on the bike here. He is pushing on hard to try and get back across. It's what he's got to do. He's got to use his tyre. He can't worry now. Half race distance. He's just got to throw everything at him.
Yeah, 10.5 down, 10.5 to go. He doesn't have a choice. He wants this championship. If the checker flag went out now,
it's not the champion.
Manuel Gonzalez would need miracle territory pretty much when we get to Valencia.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. Temperatures dropping as well.
Anything can happen around there, though, as we've seen over the years. Ask Nicky Hayden, ask people who have turned things around on that final day of the championship.
You have to be careful as well if you're Diogo Moreira, because the likes of David Alonso doesn't really hold back in the battle. He won't be thinking about those wide there on the crest at the final turn, but he's pushing hard on this lap, trying to get back across into this battle for victory today.
9th on the grid for Alonso, up to 3rd, but he made most of that in the start, didn't he, on that opening lap or 2. He's so aggressive. So there is Moreira. In
on lap 12 of 21, Vietti leading at the moment from Moreira, Alonso, Canet, Gonzalez, Dixon, Vietti. First sector coming in from David Alonso there was a 21.406. There's now on the inside line again. There was a move going on. So still there's some action out there on the circuit, which we are expecting. Vietti 0.879 ahead to Diego Moreira. So again, they will find the time in the deltas here with such an interesting second half of the race still to come.
Front row, and there haven't been too many practices actually where conditions have been ideal. I just think he's coming out the box, fancies it. It's a rider's circuit where you sort of feel like he can make the difference, and fires up for it.
Yeah, he's able to do so. The young Dutchman looks so good on the bike around here, and he has been building. He had the mid-season injury which derailed his season a little bit, but he's come back built as a rookie, very solid, and at the moment in a line to possibly fight for his first ever victory in Moto2 as another rookie. That would be the third of the season, as you mentioned, with Alonso and Holgado already taking those victories.
Yeah, he's keeping the pace. He is the only one in the low 141s. 141.4 from him last time. Moreira 141.7. Has he judged the pace right though? That is the question. There will be a moment in this race, Michael, where the tyres will start to protest.
Yeah, everyone is on the same rear tyre, the development soft option and the soft front, which it seems to happen a lot at the minute in Moto2, where we get a unanimous choice across the field. That Pirelli have been developing the super soft tyre and this development soft option. But everyone on it, and they will have to manage it a little. Baltus down the inside once again. He's got this turn 3 overtake figured out. He's really able to stop it in there. We've seen earlier in the race where he could just park it and avoid collision. He's got good control in those slow turns.
Yes, that moves him further clear of Jake Dixon in the battle for third in the championship. The title would be run if the flag dropped now. But as we saw in Malaysia, things can take a dramatic turn at any moment in Moto2. Dixon back into 7th place, not quite at the race we expected. Things have changed though. I think Susie said it down on the grid. They've been out on a green track a couple of times this week, and it was spitting on Friday morning, damp yesterday morning, so hardly anyone went out. I think only 5 riders did more than 2 laps.
Yeah, Moto2 had some of the worst conditions really, with spots of rain on Friday afternoon. Saturday morning was pretty much a wasted session. Diogo Moreira didn't even put his helmet on and venture out onto the track. So they are low on miles around here. It's not been ideal for them, and the track is evolving. When you go out trackside, you can see so much more rubber laid down. No overnight rain last night, so perhaps the best conditions the Moto2 riders have had so far.
You see how much more conservative Manuel Gonzalez was being there compared to Barry Baltus. Barry taking a tighter line, trying to fire it through this corner. Not sure he's going to necessarily have a look down at turn 1, but might be thinking about another turn 3 move here. Just winding it up, isn't he? Trying to build some momentum. Here he comes then. Baltus into turn 3.
Baltus on the inside line, easily gets ahead, and Manuel Gonzalez now drops him down to 6th position. Baltus to 5th.
Point taken away from Gonzalez.
3 laps in a row and 3 overtakes at turn 3. He's got that one figured out, and he's lapping as fast as anyone. Only Aaron Canet faster than him last time around, so the pace he's got, although 5.3.
Robert's asking, by the way, for some specs on the Moto2 bikes. It's a standardized 765cc 3-cylinder triumphant engine, produced around 140 horsepower as well. Pirelli tyres, FAM electronics, minimum weight for the bike and rider is about 217 kilograms as well to come into it. The Triumphant Streets 765 Moto2 edition for 2025, brand new, 300 kilometers per hour. That's about 186 miles per hour to come into this one. But yeah, steel brakes, discs, carbons are banned in Moto2, so steel brakes.
AMA Supercross rider, they practice the start so much, and it's ultra important in motocross, and it is important in circuit racing as well, but there's not as much focus put on it here. And for someone like Barry Baltus, given that it is crucial to his career, he needs to fix it, he needs to go and work on it, burn out a few clutches.
Get a clutch sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Get through a few friction plates without a doubt, but yeah, it's an important part of his overall package that is missing. It's a weakness, and he's got to address it.
Front 5 are all in the 141 bracket. Sixth, which is Manuel Gonzalez, and backwards, all in the 142 bracket. So Moreira at the moment pulling away from Gonzalez, not only in this race but in the championship. A bit of a moment there. He was starting to claw back some of Colin Vaille's lead, but he just had a moment up onto the curbs at turn 4.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many mistakes so far, but perhaps having to work a little harder here. As you keep seeing, the lap times really fluctuate within a tenth or two from the leaders, consistent every lap around. Tyres holding up well for them with 6.5 laps remaining. But we will see a further drop. Typically, the last third of the race, last quarter, you get a little bit of an additional drop in terms of edge grip and performance off the turn.
Yeah, they sort of drop after about 4 or 5, don't they? They drop quite significantly, have a bit of a plateau. That's another wide one, but he likes that lane. It was a bit like Marco Bezzecchi's been taking that corner.
Yeah, you can't come back to a late apex. It opens the door for someone to attack from behind, but yeah, it is the fastest way around for certain riders.
So you have that drop, and then it goes again, doesn't it? Usually, what, with about 5 to go?
Yeah. Typically, most riders have an additional drop. Some better than others at controlling it and just dosing out their rubber throughout the race.
I'm so impressed by Colin Vaille here, out at the front of this one, leading for a long, long time now in this race. Also, I have to say, credit where it's due for Diogo Moreira. All the pressure in the world on his shoulders. And up to this point, I'm touching my head and, well, it's a plastic table. Got nothing wooden in here, but he has been flawless.
Yeah, he's looked so good, and actually for him, he wouldn't have anticipated Colin Vaille having this pace, and it's actually been a good thing because Colin set the pace, a good marker up front. He just has to chase him and let Colin do all the hard work. 20 points will be enough for Gonzalez today, but on this last few laps, he's got a sniff of an extra 5. He will put up the ante and put the pressure on the young Dutchman.
Yeah, and you sort of feel like Moreira has kept his nose clean and been able to be conservative.
Yeah.
Hasn't had too much scrapping to do, has he? So he's been able to just take his comfortable lines and look after his tyres.
A good start has made all the difference today, and he just settled into a good rhythm. Whenever Colin made the move down the front straight into turn 1, he hasn't been headed since, but yeah, Diogo's been allowed to just ride a nice, smooth, comfortable race, and he'll be keeping an eye on his pit board, seeing where Manu Gonzalez is. They will give him that information, I would imagine, today. Also, the gap back to Alonso and Canet. He doesn't want to give away any points here when he could potentially arrive at Valencia now as things stand with almost 20 points advantage, 19 on the board.
If he were to, he is closing on this lap. If he were to get past Vaille, he will go to Valencia with a 24-point lead as things stand. I will say that Gonzalez on this lap has closed in again on Baltas. So maybe Gonzalez has a little bit more here. This could be huge, the swings here, if Gonzalez gets another spot. If Moreira, has Alonso behind him closing in. He was quicker than Moreira on that last lap, Alonso. Moreira was 2/10 quicker than Vaille. This race is not done yet. No. And suddenly there could be another twist in this championship.
Yeah, we've got 5 laps to go. Gonzalez has got to do everything to gain back. Every point matters at the moment. Keeping things alive as we turn up in Valencia next weekend. Anything can happen there. As you mentioned, we look back over the years, Valentino Rossi, Nicky Hayden. Things can turn on their head on the final day of the season, but today, Diogo Moreira is doing everything asked of him. I just wonder, will he be prepared to take a risk and try a move on Vaille, who has been so impressive in this race so far?
One of the great ones, wasn't it? Was that Moto2 last with Alex Rins. Was it Luis Salom, Alex Rins and Maverick Vinales? Yeah. And then Maverick came through and won. It was winner takes all. They were all within 5 points in the championship. We're not quite going to have that situation as things stand, because Manuel Gonzalez is losing points hand over fist here to Moreira. And it's all been down, for my money, to the yellow flag in qualifying.
Yeah. Manu's mentioned it a few times this year, when he struggles in qualifying or starts a little bit in the pack, he can't actually make his way forward.
Here's Moreira on the back of Vaille, and Vaille is starting to suffer now. Led this from early on, but Moreira is just keeping the pace going, and we've seen it so many times this year in his wins that he's taken, that Diogo Moreira, 3 wins to his name, gets stronger as the race goes on, and he's starting to pile pressure on the young Dutch rookie. A little adjustment there as he went down the home straight from Moreira.
Colin dropped his lap times 42.0, the penultimate time around 42.3, so he's just losing a little bit of pace. Still looks good in terms of his turning and grip out of the final 2 turns, but yeah, he's giving away some pace here at the moment on Diogo.
So if that's happening and Moreira can see that, where will he be thinking about going through here?
Diogo's always a strong breaker. As we've seen, he likes the scrap. He'll just get a better look now when he's right on Colin's rear. We'll see where he's perhaps missing a bit of pace. Is it off the turn? Is it middle of the turn? Is it performance in the braking zone? You did see that adjustment, which typically will be the front brake lever for Diogo, so he's just setting things up perfectly.
And getting himself ready, perhaps. Does he risk it? That's the other thing he's got going through his mind. Oh, I don't want to risk it via fight back and I throw it all away here.
Exactly, yeah, and you have to worry about the ever-present Colombian David Alonso. You give him a sniff in the last 3 laps of a race and he will throw everything at it.
But you and I have known a lot of champions over the years, and often they're the ones now who will go for it and take it by the scruff of the neck and will do it with a win. He is strong in this sector here, isn't he,
yeah.
Moreira? He's closing in on fire. He's trying to suss out, is it a turn 1 move? If he does that, does it then open the door at turn 3? Does he have to go at turn 5, perhaps? So there's less chance for Fire to come back. All these things, while Moreira's thinking, don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the thing that you've got to start to think of as well, especially with just now 3 laps to go, because Colin Vire's tyres are starting to look a little bit dodgy out there, and Diego Moreira now across that line is 0.182 behind him. It's not over yet, and we could literally now be about to see a champion crowned. 24 points to still be the gap, actually, thinking about it, with Gonzalez now in 6th, with Dixon dropping back. So this title looks like it is going down to Valencia in 7 days' time. But is it going to be with Moreira needing just 1 point, or is he going to need the magic 6? This is going to be quite the battle as they get down into that zone. Let's have a look then. This is Barry Boltus into the first corner with Gonzalez behind him. And yeah, Gonzalez went wide and off the track, past the red exit of the curb and onto the green. Over the crest, the helicopter getting super duper close, and Diego Moreira is literally within touching distance, and the 95 goes out wide, coming into turn 10. Moreira sends it through on the inside line, and Diego Moreira takes the lead of the race, and now the championship is literally a point away. That's all. That is absolutely fantastic. He timed that to perfection. Diego Moreira at the front. You just can't hold back, can you? Diego is doing such an amazing strategy. Colin Vire now dropping back. Alonso's going to be there. Oh, Gonzalez nearly dropped it coming down the hill. Just saw the foot buckle from underneath him as well. 2 to go. Let's see the gap. He's 1.9 behind Barry Boltus. So Diego Moreira takes the lead as Dixon goes round the outside line and gets it back ahead of Daniel Holgado, because Holgado slipstreamed him down towards that first corner. Gap just, all we need now is the 2 points, that's it. And Moreira will have title chance. There's 1 more races, so he'll have the advantage in the front. As you take a look back, he's leading. Alonso now closing on the back of Colin Vire. Down into Sampson again at turn number 9. Craig Jones up next as you go over the crest and drop dramatically downhill. There's that helicopter kick ahead, so it's deceptively close over the top. Hello. Sander van der Gerberg's just returned up to 17th position. There was a small issue there as they continue to fly. We're watching as is Alonso going to go on the inside line. This is down to 13. You're going to drop 7 stories shortly as well. That's the biggest fear on a motorcycle, as Daniel Munoz gets ahead there into 13th position ahead of Cristina Vietti. Diego Moreira leading with 1 lap to go with the Moto2 Grand Prix of Portimao. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in a line. And now watch Colin Vire. He's got a great slipstream down towards turn number 1. Moreira pushed him towards the pit wall. Tries to get back on the racing line. Late on the brakes, downhill. Is the Colin Vire thinking about a little lunge on the inside line. Not into 1, not into 2. What about into Lagos at turn 3? No, he doesn't. But Alonso's right there. So's Aaron Canet. The top 4 running by less than a tenth of a second between each other. Outstanding as Canet has a little moment coming out of 4. Drops him back. Alonso's in the tow. Yellow flag's out. Turn 1. It's Jake Dixon. Jake Dixon has gone off at the first corner. So victory in Malaysia now leads to retirement in Portimao as he goes into his last Moto2 race next weekend in Valencia before he goes to World Superbikes next year. Dixon is out. Rider okay. He's walking away. Thumbs up for the marshals as well. Oh, and Diego Moreira is literally twitching the front of the bike as they come up the hill into turn 10 and 11 at Portimao. It goes out wide. Is Colin Vire going to think about a move on the inside line? No, he's not. 2 corners left. The gap with 24 points. All Diego Moreira will need to do in Valencia is keep that advantage. It's going to be Gonzalez needing to win and Moreira not score just 1 point. It's Moreira's championship in hand as they come out the last 2 corners. Is Colin Vire and David Alonso going to do anything to help out Gonzalez? Not going to happen. Diego Moreira times it perfectly and takes the hands on the championship. It will go down to the final race of the season in Valencia, but just 1 point is needed. Diego Moreira 24 clear to Manuel Gonzalez. This title fight goes all the way to the circuit Ricardo Tormo, and the way that the Moto2 year has gone, I'm not surprised at all. Diego Moreira wins, Justino Vietti in second, David Alonso finishes in 3rd position as the checker flag falls. Isaac Affiliate waving the checker flag here. What a run. The Moto2 Championship goes down to the final round of Valencia. That's been confirmed. Next up, it's MotoGP, but we'll stay with Moto2. But Diego Moreira wins at Portimao. Well, a very interesting race there as well. This is the full results then as we leave Portimao. Diego Moreira victorious, Colin Vire in second, David Alonso takes third, Aaron Canet fourth, Barry Bolters fifth, Manuel Gonzalez in sixth. Not at all his day. That small mistake at turn 1 cost him valuable points, and arguably Malaysia cost him the championship where he scored no points at all from that crash. Daniel Holgado in 7th, Alba Arenas is in 8th, Senna Igas in 9th, Azan Guevara takes 10th. Daniel Munoz is in 11th, Alex Escray in 12th. Then we get Justino Vietti in 13th, Ivan Ortola 14th. Philip Salak rounds out that last point after going wide on the opening lap. Didn't gain back up as many places as we expected. Zonta van der Gerberg in 16th from Tony Albuino, Adrian Huertas, Alonso Lopez, Sergio Garcia in 20th. Then Mario Argi, Jorge Navarro, Yuki Kuni, Alessandro Morossi, the last runner. Out of the race was Jake Dixon, Marcos Ramirez, Eric Fernandez, Ramon Sasaki, and Zahi Zurizeta out as well early on. Actually, looking at it, it was, I was right, Philip Zag only moved up 2 places, but Izan Guevara up 8, Ivan Ortola up 7, and Albert Arenas up 8. They are the biggest winners of the race. David Alonso up 6 places. Moreira, though, starting on pole position, lost the lead, but did end as the race winner. So the World Championship is going to be, so this is on Simon Patterson saying, if I could take a look at it quite quickly, when the World Championship is going to be decided by whether someone finishes P6 or P7, we really should be watching the riders crossing the line and not someone else's celebrations coming through. tend to agree there because the championship is going to be very much on the line. Latest news, by the way, from Brazil for Formula 1. Cloudy and light rain. The track is damp. Well, forget damp. The track's absolutely waterlogged at the moment. Only said that the dryers are going out, but the rain is still coming in. So we could be in for a wet Brazilian Grand Prix later on today. That's going to be live on JB Motorsports. After Moto2, we'll be shifting to JB Motorsports for the Moto GP race coverage. That's underway from 12:45 UK time. Then after that, we're back on JB Motorsports 2 for the Moto3, and then back to JB Motorsports for the Formula 1 Grand Prix as well. Let's send it back, though, to TNT Sports and the podium ceremony as we rejoin Gavin Emmett and Michael Laverty with Susie Perry and Neil Hodson in the pits.
Welcome back to Portugal, where Manuel Gonzalez has only been able to manage 6th place. For him, that's only 10 points. For Moreira, 25. That means 24 between them heading to the final round. It's all but one now for Brazil's Diogo Moreira. Runs out victorious here ahead of 2 rookies in Colin Fire and David Alonso. 3rd for the Colombian today. Dutchman in 2nd, and a Brazilian on the top step in front of a Portuguese crowd who will have enjoyed that one, Michael.
Yeah, everyone here obviously speak Portuguese, and it obviously endears them a little more to this man, Diogo Moreira. He delivered today, though, in style. Controlled the race perfectly. He just judged it, used his tyre when he needed to. Even at the end, his lap times weren't fantastic over the last 2 laps, but didn't provide an opportunity for Colin Fire to attack on the final lap. And 25 points at this crucial stage in the season. You've got to say, fair play. That was a step up in a championship ride.
And he's looked so calm since it, and actually through that ride. A lot of the work obviously was done with pole position, pulling it out of the bag. He found a 1/4 of a second in the final sector to pit Jake Dixon to pole, and then the calm has just continued. I am so impressed with how he's handled the pressure today.
Yeah, how he's handled the season overall. Obviously, he had a little bit of a dip mid-season after his incident in Germany, but he's been so consistent. His qualifying performances, his race rhythm, and just clawed back that championship lead, and now takes a commanding 24-point lead into the final round.
But look at his season. Didn't score in Argentina, didn't score in the USA, didn't get his first podium until Silverstone when he was beaten to the line, if you remember, by Senna Aegis. This was Dixon's crash on the final lap. He obviously saw he was going back towards Gonzalez, pushing a little bit too much. It wasn't to be for the Brit today. And even then, for Diogo Moreira, had no scores in Germany. If you remember the collision with David Alonso when he and Jake Dixon came close there, then started from the back of the grid in the Czech Republic, didn't score there, only scored 2 points in Barcelona, and you think, well, there's no chance he's taking the title. And yet here he finds himself now with a round to go, 24 points clear. It shows a 22 race championship. Not stating the obvious, it's a long season, yeah, but it will have its ups and downs.
Yeah, the longest ever, 22 rounds, and it has been his ability as we headed into the flyaways. Podiums every time in Japan, Indonesia, Australia. Not quite able to put it on the podium in Malaysia, but obviously with Gonzalez crashing out, still gaining points in terms of the title race, and then arriving here, pole position, victory. He just controlled everything he needed to today. And you can see what it means to him and the team down there. They know it's one-handed, the trophy at the moment. Still got to get things across the line next week in Valencia, but that is a pressure ride, and he delivered today.
A few Brazilian fans here holding the flag proudly aloft. Could he become our first ever Brazilian world champion in this paddock? Colin Vire, the 17th rider to stand on a podium this year. That says something in itself, doesn't it, as well? So many different riders have had their day in the sun. And David Alonso loses out, actually, on the Rookie of the Year to his teammate, because Daniel Gardo is 35 ahead of him. And so that one is also done. But he can be proud, Alonso, his 5th podium of the season.
David, now 3 podiums in a row at 3 very different circuits. I think we can safely say you've figured out Moto2. In those closing stages, did you think you had a chance at victory?
Yeah, for sure we need to be happy with the team, with all. I mean, sometimes we think about the 2 last tenths that we miss, but we need to sometimes remember where I started in Thailand GP. I was on the grid like with the safety car only, and now 3 podiums in a row. So that's the way. It was so difficult the race, so long for me. It was like a really Moto2 race, all in our own pace, like on the same tense, and this mentally is so hard. Like I need to get used. I'm not used to this because in Moto3 it's not like this. So I think this is a positive race for the future. I try to pass Colin, but congrats to him also, rookie, and he do great. He was so fast on the first laps. So yeah, we need to keep going, and I'm very happy for the team that they deserve it. So thanks so much, all that are seeing us and at home also.
Another great ride, well done.
Thank you, bye-bye.
You know, he is so rounded, isn't he? To have the wherewithal there, to talk about everything, about the season, I remember the photo they took facing the wrong way on the grid back in Thailand, saying, oh, we are at the front. Oh, no, we're facing the wrong way. You know, but even to go back there and building himself into Moto2, he's a title hopeful for next year, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe even one of the favourites. I think how he's built his season, how he approaches everything, even his wherewithal, focusing on that rhythm throughout that is so important and crucial in Moto2. Didn't have much experience of races like that in Moto3, but it works for him now.
And he started the season injured. But, you know, he had hurt his shoulder quite badly, hasn't he? I'm so pleased for this young man, Colin Vire. He's watched the other rookies have their successes this year, but finally he takes his first
Colin,
podium.
you battled so hard this year. How does it feel to be rewarded with a Moto2 podium, with a fantastic ride like that?
I don't know. I don't know what to say, really. It's been a roller coaster this year. Start of the year losing my cousin in an accident, and then, yeah, everything that happened with the injury. I lost another little cousin in my family just a week ago. So I want to give all the strength to them also. This one is for them for sure. And yeah, overall, I want to also say to Jose, hello. I'm here now. I hope you get back here also soon because we miss you a lot in the team. And yeah, race overall was amazing. I don't know what to say. I passed Diogo and I was like, yeah, I just tried to do the pace on my own. And I saw 41.2 in my dashboard and I knew that is what we were doing yesterday in the qualifying. And I was like, yeah, it's going quite well. And I see the gap shrinking at the end. But yeah, I think overall we had just an amazing race. And yeah, we can enjoy this one and get on to the last race in Valencia.
Brilliant ride, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so pleased, Colin. He speaks so well. And to remember Sid, his young cousin, 7 years old, in a mini moto accident at the start of the year, and obviously had more family tragedy recently. That's lovely, isn't it, for him to be able to perform like that today. And he was within a 10th of victory as well.
Yeah, what an impressive day for this young man. And to speak with such composure, talking about the loss of family only recently. Yeah, he is, like we spoke about Alonso, a fully rounded package, and he's beginning to bloom now in Moto2.
Yeah, the rookies have stood up to the plate this year. But what about the calmness, the coolness of this young Brazilian, Diogo Moreira, from pole position to wait it out, pounce when he saw the opportunity and hold on to take his 4th victory of the year, and he will go to Valencia as the huge title favourite.
Well, Diogo, in the biggest moment of the season, you've pulled off the biggest performance of your career. To put one hand on the World Championship, how did you pull that off?
Yeah, very happy. I think we make a very good job this weekend. I'm so proud. And at the beginning of the race, I was a bit nervous, so it was difficult to keep the concentration on the bike and the lines. And yeah, after that was a little bit better. And at the end, I was trying to keep the flow, you know. So yeah, it was much better. So now we need to keep like this and try to enjoy the last race of the season.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And he's given himself the best opportunity to be able to enjoy the last race of the season. We said before it was the opportunity of his lifetime, and he absolutely nailed it.
We said before, can he cope with the pressure? How is this going to pan out? Wow, did he deal with that like a pro? I mean, got the start, which was always going to be key to the race. We talked about it before it. Got perfect track position. Didn't panic early on when Colin Vire, the rookie, was pulling away in the early days, and then stalked him and made this beautiful, it's a classic pass up to turn 10. It looks like Vire's gone wide. It's not, it's a late apex. You do leave the door open there, and obviously Moreira was wise of that. And from that moment on then, he literally connected the dots, exactly like you have to do around this really challenging Portimao circuit. Used his beautiful natural riding style, sweeping lines, and took the victory. I mean, that's pretty impressive. The only negative he will think now is like, oh, 24 points, not 26, because he still, believe it or not, will not be sleeping the next few nights, because we know in racing, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Can Manu Gonzalez win in Valencia? Absolutely you can. Can you have a mechanical or crash in Valencia on a cold track? Absolutely you can. So he's almost got the world title, but he ain't quite got it yet.
No, he can almost celebrate, but that's not quite good enough. It was a different predicament today for Manu Gonzalez, wasn't it? That was not the story he wanted to tell.
No, a struggle, and not one that we were expecting as well. We thought, you know, he's got to beat Diogo Moreira, he's got to make it count, and he just wasn't able to. You know, he pushed as hard as he could. This is him losing it out of turn 5, and he just couldn't make it happen, you know. So yeah, he just didn't have the pace. There's nothing he could do. He came under attack there from, what was it? That was Canet that came past, and then Baltus as well. So, you know, he got scrapping, and he just couldn't make it into that top group for Gonzalez. So all hopes are not all gone, but for sure this was difficult. You know, you could see there in turn 1, overriding the bike a little bit, and making some mistakes, running wide there. He did try everything. But yeah, not enough pace. It wasn't enough.
I'll tell you what, ever since Diogo Moreira's had that MotoGP contract in his back pocket, he seems to have rocketed. I don't know if that's coincidental, but it seems to have been at that point where the confidence has really exuded. You can probably hear over my shoulder they're about to go to the podium, so let's go and celebrate for that. But I'll tell you what, Gav, Colin Veier did keep Diogo Moreira honest there, didn't he?
He did in that final corner. He closed in. It was less than a tenth of a second, 0.09. Across the line between the Brazilian and the Dutchman. So we're ready to go now with the podium ceremony here. David Alonso steps up there alongside Yet Altran's team boss. Colin Veier, his first podium in Moto2, but what about the ride? It's just how calm he's kept with it all. Even his celebration's muted. He knows it's not done. You know, he doesn't want to be that fool who celebrates before the race is run. But you have to say, another brilliant ride from Diogo Moreira, his 4th victory of the season. The team celebrate. I have to say that Fantic have clinched the Teams World Championship, so Canet and Baltus with something to celebrate with 4th and 5th today, but they are the Teams champions. David Alonso lost out on the Rookie of the Year, but trust us when we say he will be in the fight for the title in 2026. Mark our words. So Colin Veier celebrates. At one point this year, you're questioning whether he keeps hold of his ride. He has come back well after injury, hasn't he? And will stay, of course, with the IO team next year. Diogo Moreira moves up to MotoGP. Will he do it as a Moto2 champion? We're going to find out in 7 days' time, but he's given himself the best opportunity by taking victory from pole position. The Brazilian does it here in Portugal. And the team already singing for him underneath the podium. Just one more round to go in Valencia.
The Moto2 Championship goes down to the season finale in Valencia. It's champagne time. Next up, it's MotoGP before Moto3 ends the day. Join us on JB Motorsports for all of the action. Diego Moreira, one hand on the title. We'll see you soon for all the action. Take care. Bye-bye.